one of the prerequisite skills that we're going to need to know in order to solve equations in Algebra 1 is going to be adding signed numbers. So what that means is adding or subtracting numbers that have positive and negative signs attached to them. For example, if we have a problem like 5 minus 12, and we're looking at 5 has no sign in front of it. So that tells me that that's a positive 5. This 12 has this negative sign in front. It's that minus sign. So that is really just a negative 12. So because those signs are opposite, what we're going to do is we are going to subtract those numbers and then keep the sign of the bigger number. So I put bigger in quotes because in this case, 12 is the bigger number, even though it has a negative sign. So obviously negative 12 is not bigger than 5, but the absolute value of 12 is bigger. So we would keep that negative sign. So looking at these numbers, we would say 12 minus 5 gives me 7. And again, since 12 is the bigger of those two numbers, we're going to keep that sign and make the answer negative 7. So if we look at a problem like negative 6 minus 8, both of these numbers have negative signs on them. So because both of the numbers are negatives, we have the same sign. And what we're going to do there is we are going to add the numbers and then keep the sign. So in this case, we would say 6 plus 8 is 14. And both of these are negatives, so it's going to be negative 14. The next thing we have to think about is multiplying and dividing numbers that have a mix of positive and negative signs attached to them. So if we look at the first problem here, we have negative 4 times positive 3. I can see that that 4 has a negative in front and that 3 doesn't have anything, so we assume that to be a positive. When I have signs that are opposite like this, a positive times a negative or a negative times a positive, either way, it doesn't matter, because multiplication is commutative, which means you can do it in either direction. When I have a negative times a positive, opposite signs, your answer is going to be negative. So negative times a positive equals a negative, or you could also have a positive times a negative equals a negative. So negative 4 times positive 3 is going to give me a negative 12. All right, and then I'll look at the next example. Both of these are positive. It's positive 6 times positive 5. So when I have this same sign, positive times a positive, my answer is going to be a positive. So in this case, 6 times 5 is 30, and that's going to stay a positive. So we have a similar problem in the next one, negative 1 times negative 8. The signs are the same here. And when signs are the same and we're multiplying, it's going to be a positive. So even though we have two negatives here, a negative times a negative is going to equal a positive. So in this case, negative 1 times negative 8 is going to give me positive 8. So general rule, if signs are the same, the answer is going to be positive when you multiply or divide. If signs are different, the answer is going to be negative when you multiply or divide.